What's happening, everybody? Wanted to talk to you today about the heavyweight scene, some of the fights that are being made. There is some big fights being made, but there's one fight that we all want to see. Doesn't look to be any closer, and you all know the fight I'm talking about. Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. So Usyk's got a fight. He's fighting one of his mandatories in Daniel Dubois, and I think it's a pretty dangerous fight. I think that there is a clear favourite in the fight, Usyk, that is. I'm going to be working on the fight. It will be TNT Sport at that stage. It won't be BT anymore. So after the takeover, I'm hoping to be working on the fight as well. Looking forward to it. It's in Poland. And Usyk's a favourite. I have him as a favourite as well. It's going to be a hard night's task for Daniel Dubois. But in saying that, it's not mission impossible. He can win the fight. Usyk, to win the fight, will have to hit Dubois a lot, which he probably will. He's very, very accurate. He throws a lot. He's very technical. But it'll be an accumulation of punches that gets rid of Dubois rather than a single shot. Daniel Dubois, on the other hand, only takes one shot for Daniel Dubois to knock Usyk out. He's a big, powerful, explosive man, and he could do it. I'm not saying he will. I hope he does. As a fellow British fighter, I hope Daniel Dubois can shock the world and become heavyweight champion. Tough ask, but he can do it. Another fight that's recently been announced is AJ and Dillian Whyte. Another good fight. First fight was a barnstormer. What a fight. A lot of heat and needle between both guys. Don't seem to like each other. We even seen Big Dino jumping in the ring at a stage in the first fight, which was madness. But there's a lot of animosity there between the guys. And Needle and AJ's performances recently have been. He's trying something different. They've been a bit underwhelming, but give him his dues. He's trying something different. He's not trying to be, the guy who takes a load of shots. He's trying to box it a little bit more, which is sensible as a heavyweight because we all know one shot can clean you out. He's been criticised about being a little bit gun shy, but I think he's just working on things. But what I will say is he will need to be better than his last couple of performances going into this fight. Dillian Whyte brings a different type of challenge, and in saying that, I'm Dillian Whyte's last few performances have maybe not been anything to shout home about either. I think it's a good fight. Again, probably a favourite in this fight. Not as much as a favourite as the Usyk and Dubois fight, but I would have AJ as a favourite going into this fight. Talk of Wilder and Ruiz potentially happening. Talk of a Saudi tournament. Do these fights, if these fights that are happening, Dubois and Usyk and AJ and Whyte, if they don't go the way they're meant to go, does the tournament still happen with the four guys that we hope to be in this tournament? Fury, Wilder, AJ, Usyk. Flip me, how to forget him. Does it still happen? So there's a lot of moving parts all the time. Let me talk about Joyce and Zhang, another rematch, another fantastic fight. I had Joyce as a favourite in the first fight, and he lost pretty convincingly. But I still think if he changes things, it doesn't need to be major changes, simple changes, he can win this fight against Zhang. And I have Joyce as a slight favourite going into the Zhang fight. So big fights and good fights being made. So kind of the ball is now in Tyson Fury's court at the minute. He had that amazing trilogy against Deontay Wilder, unbelievable, and he was due an easy fight after the three fights that he had with him, and I think he kind of had that in Dillian Whyte. Not that it was meant to be an easy fight, but the level that he's been at, it was a little bit higher than Dillian Whyte. So I still thought the Dillian Whyte fight was a good fight. It was credible. But then after that, we needed something a bit bigger, and it was Chisora, which is a bit disappointing. So the ball's in his court now. He kind of has to fight someone credible, but the list of opponents are running out. There's talk of a Francis Ngannou fight. I mean, I don't know what people are going to feel about that. In a boxing match, it is impossible for Francis Ngannou to beat Tyson Fury. I'll just say that. I've met Francis Ngannou. He's a lovely big fella. Um, he's a monster of a man as well, but he's not a boxer. How can a guy who doesn't box go from beating one of the top fighters in the planet? Some may have him as number one pound for pound in Tyson Fury. Impossible. He can't beat him. If it was in a cage or an octagon, then it's a different story. And Francis Ngannou beats Tyson Fury at his game, and that's what happens in sport. It's just the way it is. There's no way either man can beat the other one in the other person's field. Simple. But who's he going to fight? We need a credible opponent next for Tyson Fury, or I think there will be a lot of criticism. I think there will be. I think the governing bodies need to be a little bit more stringent as well. A lot of the heavyweights get to hold on to their titles for a long time because that's where the money is. I think if someone in a lighter weight division, not a marquee division, wanted to hold on to the titles and not fight credible opponents for a long time, then they would probably be getting stripped. But for my mind, Tyson Fury is still the number one heavyweight on the planet. I think he beats all heavyweights at this point in time. I think he beats them all. Not saying it's going to be easy against them all, but I think that he's the top dog. He's the guy with a Ring Magazine belt. He's got a WBC. Usyk has 3 other belts, but for my mind, Tyson Fury is the number one heavyweight on the planet. But we need to see a big name next. People may be disappointed with Francis Ngannou because he's not a boxer. But then you got to look at the list. Everybody else is tied up. Who's he going to fight next? Who's an opponent? There's talk of, as I said, Wilder and Ruiz. Ruiz may be a potential opponent. Even that, is it good enough? I don't know. So the ball is in the big man's court. It's going to be interesting to see what he does next. And that's it. The heavyweight scene, as Jake Paul actually says, the YouTube guy, Jake Paul, the heavyweight scene is a mess. I would agree with him. It's pretty much a mess at the minute, what's going on. We want to see the big fights happening. And the one fight that we do all want to see, please God, let it happen before the end of the year. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury.